So I think you've got to wake up and smell the coffee as well. As much as I would like Manchester United to get João Felix and Weghorst, I think we all know that we are getting Weghorst for one reason. In fact, Rennie Mullenstein, the former Man United assistant coach, was talking about this, and he said Ten Hag knows what he's doing going for Weghorst. He's going for what he can get. It's a stopgap. Clearly, the money isn't there in the January transfer window, so he's had to get creative, and he's gone for something that he knows that's different and cheap. And there is no doubt that Weghorst is a stopgap. He is a loan deal. Manchester United don't want to sign him. And there's some interesting things about Weghorst and how much we could sign him for. He is a cheap loan deal. He is the best stopgap that Ten Hag thinks he can get. He cannot get Gakpo because we didn't have any money. He cannot get João Felix because they won't release the money. He's got to go for the best he can get. And I believe that Rennie Mullenstein is correct. Ten Hag knows what he's doing here. He's going for the best he can get with what he's got. If I took you into the pub this afternoon and I said, pick whatever you like, even if it's not alcoholic, get yourself a pint of Schlur. You know, that's that fizzy, fruity drink, very expensive. Or if you fancy an alcoholic drink, you might go for a triple rum and coke or something like that. You're not going to say, don't worry about it, I'll just have a glass of tap water. Like, Ten Hag's not going to do that. He's not going to go, they haven't said, get what you like in the January transfer window, Eric, and he's gone, get me Wout Weghorst. Get me Wout Weghorst from Besiktas. What, you don't want João Felix or Gakpo? No, get me Wout Weghorst. He's getting what he can get. That's what he's getting. And I think everybody realises. I can't see a scenario where we're going to get two loans. But let me give you the latest on the Wout Weghorst story, because it is a bit all over the place, to be honest with you. There is some contrasting stories. And where I want to talk about this is that obviously we've had the update in the last half an hour or so from the Manchester Evening News that Dutch sources are confident that Weghorst will come to Manchester United. He's desperate to come to Manchester United. Of course he bloody is. And, we can be arrogant about that. We can be realistic about that. He's playing in the Turkish league and Manchester United want to sign you with a Dutch coach like Erik ten Hag. Of course you're gonna run, skip and jump and swim to Manchester in that scenario. So, of course he wants to come to Manchester United. It was the same with Ighalo, wasn't it? Everybody wants him, not everybody, but most players would love to come to Manchester United in January, especially when the team is playing like it is. So that's no surprise. The interesting backstory to this is, and I do think it's something we need to keep an eye on. Harry, welcome to the Members Club. One thing we do need to keep an eye on here is that there is an element of, this is not the clean, cheap deal people think it is. And what I mean here is, I'm just going to paint a picture. Let's say United don't want to spend £10 million on João Felix because they've only got 5. That doesn't mean they're not going to overpay for Weghorst. And what I mean by that is, we might not have enough money to get Felix at 10, but 5 million for Weghorst for a 5-month loan is too much. So, don't fall into the trap that, United are doing a clever deal. We could be overpaying to get Weghorst, but it's within the parameters of what we want to spend, which is typically what we do. If we've got 200 million quid, we spend it. We don't try and negotiate good deals, we'll just spend the 200 million quid. And if we've got 5 million quid, we'll spend the 5 million quid. Doesn't matter whether we overpay for somebody, we'll spend the 5 million quid. And I think this is what's happening here, because when you read between the lines, Besiktas, I think it was their sporting director, said over the weekend he can't just go. And if he does go, we need to get compensation. So basically, the scenario is that Wout Weghorst signed a year ago for Burnley for 13 million quid. They got relegated. He went on loan to Besiktas. And Besiktas, as part of that loan, had an option to buy this summer for 8.6 million. Besiktas are not, and quite rightly, have got no right or desire to say, yeah, you can just go and play for Manchester United. He offers something different. Welcome to Manchester United, says Charlie. Thanks for that, Charlie. We're actually in the middle of talking about something else at the moment. So basically, if I'm Besiktas and I know I'm going to get Wout Weghorst for 8.6 million in the summer, I'm not just going to say in January to Manchester United, oh yeah, take him. I'm going to say, well, one, we don't want him to go. And then the player goes, I want to go. And then you've got a problem. And then what you do is you say to Manchester United, well, look, he's basically our player in 5 months for 8.6 million. So if you want him, you've got to compensate us. And then Burnley Burnley probably don't need compensating because it's a loan deal and he goes back to Burnley in the summer. So Burnley really don't really matter in this scenario. They'll probably get a little bit of money, but the people who get the money are Besiktas. Now, what we're hearing is that Man United might pay as much as £3 million to Besiktas to get him out. So if we're giving £3 million to Besiktas and we're giving a couple of million to Burnley, we might end up paying £5 million quid for him, which on a 5-month loan deal, it's a lot of money, isn't it? So that's what I'm trying to say. This is not a straightforward deal for Manchester United, and it's not about saving money. It's about spending the money that they've got. And some might say that, it's quite an expensive deal to do. We're not signing anyone. Did we not listen to Arnold in the pub, says Mark. I think Erik Ten Hag would love both, but the cash isn't there for Felix, nor did they want to commit to 70 million as a future payment with the sale of the clubbing process. It would